The Vegas Forward podcast delves into the lives of the people in our community, uncovering not only what they do, but who they are. Business may keep our city strong, but it's the individuals that continue to create, innovate, and push Vegas forward. All right, today, welcome to Vegas Forward. We have Georgeann Pizzi, the president and partner of MassMedia.
Yes.
Welcome to Vegas Forward.
Thank you so much.
And just to give you a little background, so Vegas Forward is all about people like yourself that are creating and innovating in Vegas and kind of doing some cool stuff. And I know you've been in the PR marketing world for a long time, and we have relationship as well on the work side. So just super excited to have you down. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about MassMedia and the company.
Yeah, so MassMedia is born and bred in Las Vegas. So we've been in business for almost 24 years now.
Okay.
So long-standing company, full service marketing agency, specializing in a number of different verticals. We work with corporate clients, we work with casinos, we work with higher education, healthcare. So really across a number of different industries. But really evolved from a PR firm 23 years ago to now be a fully integrated firm that focuses a lot on digital marketing, as you know. Public relations still a cornerstone, service line that we offer.
Cool.
A lot of clients leverage us for that. And overall marketing strategy, creative, you name it, social media, we do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what? So tell me a little bit about you, because one of the things I love to talk about is what made you who you are today.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally? Are you from Las Vegas or?
No.
Okay.
So whenever anybody asks me where I'm from, I never really know where to say that I'm from. I was born actually in Washington, D.C., so grew up in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
And lived there until I was about 14. My parents moved us out west to Reno, Nevada. So came to Nevada for high school.
Okay.
Stayed there through college, and then met my husband, my now husband, who is a Las Vegas native.
Okay.
And we hightailed it to Vegas right after college.
Oh,
to
that's
start
awesome.
our careers. Yeah. So it's like I've spent time on the East Coast, Reno, Vegas.
How old were you when you moved?
Out of DC?
Yeah.
I was 14.
Okay.
So right before high school. So pretty devastating as a teenage girl to be.
To just pick up and leave,
absolutely. Right? I cried from Virginia to Ohio.
So what are the differences? I mean, do you like living out west, or do you miss the East Coast? I know you were pretty young, but.
Yeah, I was young, but I think I'm a West Coast girl at heart, honestly. My mom is from LA. Okay. So she moved to the East Coast when she met my dad, who was from Pennsylvania, East Coaster. And I guess I have her West Coast blood running through my veins because it just feels much more natural for me. Like, I love California. I like Vegas. I just love the whole West Coast. So
yeah, I mean, you can't beat the weather.
Yeah, and it's just a different vibe there. It's more fast paced, a little more intense. Oh yeah, more congested. And I just I like West Coast.
And that's like one of the most expensive areas in the country, right? Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
area.
So I grew up in Fairfax County, which is a phenomenal school district. So really great schools out there. A lot of government. Lived right off of the metro in Vienna, Virginia. Actually, was where I grew up, and super expensive. I mean, I think the home that I grew up in, they're tearing them down now and they're selling off the land and building McMansions.
Yeah, exactly. I heard in taxes and everything. It's
crazy.
I actually grew up in New Jersey, so I know what it's like. And, I miss aspects of the East Coast, but, same reason. I mean, looking out here, it's just different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you went to UNR.
I did.
Why not UNLV?
I mean, it was just looking, I guess, between the two schools. I don't know, Reno, I guess, had more of that college, kind of typical college vibe. And all the, friends that I made in high school, a lot of people stayed local. So it was kind of just never a question, couldn't afford to go out of state. So I'm going to stay in state. And
did you look at other schools, or because it's...
Not really.
No?
Not really. Yeah. No. I mean, I think I would have loved to go to California and go to school out of state, but my parents were like, if you want your college paid for, this is where you're going to go. And I was like, done.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't about to take out student loans and try to, pay for my way through college.
And so you got your bachelor's in marketing as well,
yeah,
correct?
Actually, kind of funny enough. I knew I was going to be business. I wasn't sure, what my emphasis would be. And marketing sounded exciting and interesting. And so I went that route. Although I think, most of my education was kind of on the job once I started in the field. Which is typical. Well,
I went to school for hotel restaurants. So here I am.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, though, the way the life works out, right?
Yeah.
You never really know. And you're one of the few people I know that actually went to school for what you're actually doing.
I know, it's kind of funny.
Were you able to apply any of the stuff you learned in college, or anything you could pinpoint?
I don't think so, which is terrible to say. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think like in school, you learn how to hit deadlines, how to write. I think I became a pretty good writer in school, which is obviously important in marketing and in business in general. You come across people and they don't know how to write.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. But yeah, all of it was kind of on the job, I think. I think that's the best experience for anybody going into the marketing field is you got to work in the field and get that
100%.
hands-on experience.
Yeah, and it's like that for most industries.
Yeah.
I felt the same way when I went to college. Like,
Yep.
you learn living out on your own. You learn like being independent,
Yep.
scrounging money for food. You know,
Totally.
A lot of times working while you're at school, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and meeting new people,
Totally.
right? But so that social skill type thing is what
Absolutely.
you build up. But applying it is challenging. I think.
Presentations and public speaking, like some of the fundamentals, I think, of business you learn in school, but not necessarily how to put together a marketing strategy.
No. And did you live on campus or do you live off campus?
I lived off campus, but I didn't live at home. I moved out like as soon as I
Second
turned
you could.
18, I was like, I'm out.
See you later.
I'm
Yeah.
the oldest of three, and my
Yeah.
parents were pretty strict, and so I was ready for that freedom after high school. So
Nice.
yeah.
So what did you right out of college? Like, did you get a job right out? What did you do right when you left and graduated?
So I met my husband now, he's my boyfriend at the time, when I was like a junior, and we knew we wanted to go to Vegas. I just wanted a bigger market.
Sure.
He was planning on going back to Vegas. I didn't want to stay in Reno. It was too small at the time. I was actually bartending and serving all through college.
Okay.
So I worked for Golden Gaming. My senior year, I was a bartender at Sierra Gold up in Reno.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I knew that their headquarters were down here in Vegas. And I knew the director of operations just from him coming up, and they would tour the taverns and make sure everything was
Sure.
Operating properly.
Much
and
smaller
all that.
company back then, I'm sure.
Totally.
Yeah,
So I
massive.
picked up the phone and I was like, hey, I think his name was Todd. I can't remember his last name. Hey, Todd, I just got my marketing degree. Can
Yeah.
I come work for you in the home office?
Oh, cool.
And so he got me an interview, and I got my first job with Golden Gaming after bartending them for them for probably like 2 years.
And what'd you do for them?
I was a marketing assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the taverns,
Yeah.
PTs and Sierra Gold. I did that for about a year. And then I actually got an opportunity to serve as the executive assistant to Blake Sartini, the CEO
Okay.
of Golden Gaming, which was a cool experience.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I worked for him for about a year and then moved on from there. But yeah, that was my first job out of college.
So did you jump right into the M resort after that? Or
M was after Golden Gaming.
It was, okay.
Yeah,
And so
I
what
had
did
a couple jobs in between that.
Sure, yeah.
But then landed at the M. And
Okay,
that
cool.
that was exciting too, opening up a brand new property in Vegas, although the timing was kind of crazy, 2009.
Oh, that's right. They I remember that. They opened up like right during the worst time, and we're like, man, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They survived, they
They
do
did.
well. Yeah.
They did.
So what did you do over there?
So I worked on the brand marketing team. So similarly, all of the advertising. So nothing on like the casino marketing side, like
Okay.
nothing with like the slots or the players programs or anything like that. It was all hotel branding. So
Okay.
PR, social media, communications, all of that.
Did you enjoy working in the hotel casino environment at all, or?
I mean, I think every job I got, I just wanted to, I've always had a really strong work ethic, and
Sure.
I always wanted to just succeed in whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I think I was less focused on what I was doing. Do I love hotels? Am I passionate about it? I wasn't worried about that. I
Yeah.
just wanted to kick ass in what I was doing.
I'm glad you said that, 'cause that's actually a commonality between
Yeah.
everyone we've actually done the podcast with,
Yeah.
is hard work.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter what you do is
Yeah.
like, if you have a manager or boss, is just, they give you a task, you
Yeah.
do it. Right.
Totally.
And you just focus on, putting in 110% effort. And
Absolutely.
every person that we've met that's successful like
Yeah.
yourself has had that commonality.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
I was grateful for any opportunity,
Mhm.
And funny enough, like I got the M Resort job because in my dealings with working for Blake Sartini, I had met Anthony Marnell,
Okay.
who was opening up that property. So when I was looking for work and I decided to leave Golden Gaming, I called him. So I was just leveraging
Relationships
who I knew,
and stuff.
relationships, yeah, and
which
just
is huge. Yeah.
picking up the phone, even though I was just this little assistant, like, hey,
Yeah.
can you get me an interview? Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking for a job kind of thing. So I was just grateful for the opportunity and less concerned about like, what am I marketing? I was just excited.
To do-
I'm in my field, I'm working, and
Sure.
this is really cool.
How long did you do that for?
So I did it for about a year.
Okay.
And when the M opened, they did have pretty significant layoffs like right away because, opening in the depths of the recession.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember it was a big news story. They laid off a lot of their staff. So I was one of those casualties. And then I was actually working as an independent contractor for them. So they kind of brought me back. And I was like kind of part-time doing my thing.
Yeah.
And found a posting for MassMedia and decided to apply for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of crazy because I looked at your resume on LinkedIn and it's like, you really grew up with MassMedia. You've been there for over 10 years, right?
Yeah. So
and
I'm coming up on 12.
Multiple roles throughout.
Yeah.
What was it like going through that process of kind of starting out and how did you make your way up the ladder, if you will?
It was really interesting. I mean, again, it was 2009. So MassMedia was pretty small at the time. But a very well-run company, very financially stable. So again, excited for an opportunity. I always tell people I kind of took a step back to take a step forward. Like I probably went with a position that was lower than what my capabilities were at the time. But
which is sometimes a smart move to do.
Yeah, it was just, I just wanted the opportunity and wanted to see it through. So I started there. It was a small team, so I got to do a lot. I mean, everything from social media to media buying to working with clients, everything.
Which is great. Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then just kind of grew up with the firm. Like as, the economy recovered and as we innovated and looked at new service lines and new, areas of focus and industries, the company continued to grow. And so I grew with it. And helped to really shape, what we are today, which I'm really proud of.
And how long was the company around before? Was it?
So I've been there for about, because it's been 12 years almost for me, and the company's been about 24. So it was like 12 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have built up a great reputation in town, been around
you.
for a long time. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do,
No.
stick around that long in this world. So,
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that comes down to just running a really tight ship and making sure that you have good grip on the business and the projections and the finances to make sure that you know what's coming.
So when you were a young buck at you're an account supervisor, I think, when you first started?
Yeah, I started actually as a assistant account executive, I think for like a couple months, and then they moved me up and I was running my own client.
What are some things you did that you think enabled you to kind of advance besides hard work? Is there anything,
I do think that mindset is so key. Like I just wasn't going to fail.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And I remember at the time I'm a very transparent communicator. And if like I sense things are happening or things are off, I'm one to vocalize it and address it. So like anytime I thought maybe I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing, or I wasn't like, hitting the mark, I would say, what can I be doing that's better? You know? And I would get the feedback and I would take it really seriously and I would implement it. But
which is key. So what types of clients do you guys typically work with? I know you kind of briefly mentioned that because I know you guys work in different verticals. Can you tell us a little bit about types of typical clients at MassMedia?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a number of different industries. Usually, clients that have, I would say, typically some kind of presence in Nevada, but usually a bigger footprint. So maybe they're looking to target, people across the Southwest.
Okay.
We work in, like I said, higher education as a whole. So Nevada State College is a client. We do some private school work, some charter school work.
Cool.
We work with attorneys. We work with Moon Valley Nurseries as a client of ours.
Okay.
They're an exciting one.
Yeah.
We do their public relations and work with them across a number of states.
And do you guys are mostly PR, would you say, or is it a mix of PR marketing?
It's a real mix.
Yeah.
And we'll really work with clients however they want to leverage us. So it runs the gamut. Like some clients will utilize us for full suite of marketing services, almost like an extension of their team.
Sure.
And we are that marketing team that works directly with their leadership or their owner. And then some, it's like they need to hire us for a certain service line, which might be public relations or social media. But we work with Circus Circus. So that's a gaming client of ours.
Yeah.
We do a lot of media buying in this market and across the Southwest. So
what are some things that make you guys unique when you compare yourself to other PR firms, would you say? Is there anything that's special about MassMedia that you guys, or some emphasis you have internally?
Yeah, I think that we're very attuned to driving value for the client. As a business owner myself, when I'm running campaigns, I want to know, what am I getting out of this?
Sure.
I want to look at the measurement. I want to know how much I'm investing and what is the return on that.
Of course.
And I know you can't always attribute dollar for dollar, right? Like marketing is part science,
and PR is
part
tough.
art,
Yeah, sure.
right? But I think having that mindset and being a business owner myself, we bring that to our clients.
Yeah.
And we make sure that from the get, we are very clear on what is the output and the outcome that we need to generate.
Yeah.
And we're really honest with our clients too. If a certain marketing investment isn't going to get them what they're looking for,
pivot.
I'll tell them.
Yeah.
And just say, this isn't going to work.
It's funny. I've noticed that. I tell my team that all the time. It's like we turn away business sometimes if we don't think it's a good fit.
Yeah.
Or if a client comes with, they want to build a rocket ship.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's better to start off with a minimal viable product from in our perspective.
Yeah.
So we make less money, but we're giving them good advice. And at the end of the day, that's, I think, how you retain and maintain relationships, right?
Yeah, you're
People
not going to
appreciate
keep the business if what you're, if the plan that you have in place is not going to move the needle, nobody's going to be happy at the end of the day. We're going to lose the business.
Yeah.
They're not going to hit their goals.
Yep.
And where are we left, So I think having that honest conversation up front, setting those goals, and then we just work to make sure it happens.
It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting because I've worked with clients who've had, big agencies, publicly traded kind of thing. And they're like, wow, you're just so much more, you take it so much further in terms of measuring the results and looking to correlate that and that attribution, which is cool to hear because sometimes you don't know as a mid-sized agency, are they doing something different? And it's like, no, we're actually doing more in some cases.
Yeah. And sometimes, because we're not a huge team here, right? And sometimes I remember in the past we've had, you guys aren't a big team. Can you handle the work? And I agree with you. As a lot of times the smaller team, the closer knit the environment is, the culture.
Yep.
You care more as a team because you care about each other. And you want everyone else to be successful and you want your clients to be successful. And a lot of times that resonates more than at a big agency where
I think so.
They're just a number and a dollar, right? And so that makes a big difference, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
Yeah, cool. So so agency life can be tough.
Yeah.
And I live the same life as you. That's why I cover up my gray hair a little bit. How do you effectively manage the team and like deadlines and just the overall stress that comes with the expectations that clients have and things like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to have a certain kind of personality to work in this business, right? You have to have thick skin. You have to like the hustle. I don't like to be bored. I don't like to be in a box and do the same thing every day.
No day's the same.
I don't want to clock in at 9 and clock out at 5 and have done the same thing all day, every day. I like the craziness that comes with agency life, which is you're always being thrown different challenges and curveballs, and there's always new exciting things happening. So I think that culture fit or that right personality for it, like it's not for everybody.
It's definitely not.
Right?
Yep.
Some people are going to do better in an in-house marketing situation, whereas I thrive more on the agency side. So I think having team members who share that same mindset and passion, first and foremost, like it has to be a right fit.
Yep.
And once you kind of know that, okay, they're a culture fit, then I think, making sure, like we were kind of talking about, having systems and processes in place to keep everything moving.
Yeah.
Reporting, like you said, is key. Clients want to know where their campaigns are at, and they don't want to wait 30 days.
Yeah, transparency is like crucial.
It's all happening in real time now.
Yep.
So it's like what's happening right now and being able to communicate that back. But I think it's just prioritizing and executing, right?
Exactly, which is hard. It's like a lot of people have like they come to us with these great ideas for projects, and but at the end of the day, you can have an okay idea as long as the execution is there, then it can be successful, right? And so that's one of the challenging things I think with agency life. So what are some of your favorite aspects of running an agency? Like, is there a specific thing that is it meeting with clients? Is it managing the team? Like, what do you personally have passion for?
I mean, I love all of it, really. I love those moments when I see the team succeeding, getting those wins, like the client kudos. Like if a client comes in and they're giving you props for what you just did, like nothing feels better. And I can see that like on my team's faces. They just love it. Yeah. There's also a lot of learnings that happen, where things might not always go exactly how we want them, but how are we going to learn from it and make sure that we're growing as a result? Yep. And the things aren't, happening the same way, like not staying stagnant, So I I like all of it. I really do.
Yeah.
I love the clients. I get very invested in their business and their success.
Sure.
I personally care.
Yeah.
I think again, it's that work ethic. Like I don't want to fail.
So yeah, exactly right. It's true though. Yeah, it's almost like you wake. I don't know about you, but I wake up every morning with a little knot in my stomach sometimes. Like you just like, what's today going to bring?
Yeah.
In a good way, in a bad way,
Yeah.
right? And it's kind of that's why you have to be a certain type of person to be in this world because it's challenging. There's big highs and there's big lows. And I always tell my wife and friends, like, what I've learned, I used to get really excited when we land a big client.
Right.
And then I'd get really upset when we lose a client. Now I don't care as much when we get one, and I don't care. I don't want to say not care, but it's more like you have to maintain an even keel, or else you're going to kill yourself with just stress, I
know. And it's tough because I'm very type A, perfectionist type personality.
Sure.
So the losses are tough.
They are.
And I have to try to move on from it because what are you going to do? Like my husband will always say, he's like, you're not doing any good right now worrying about it. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's tough. But you got to kind of like take that moment to be sad or mourn or whatever it is you need to do to get that emotion out, and then you got to move on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is you got to be able to just power through it. Because there are big highs though. I mean, there's some moments where you're like, man, this is a great day, and you have a bunch of meetings and you're busy, and then all of a sudden the week goes by and you're slow and things are quiet and you're like, what's next? You know, like it's challenging. So day to day when it comes to operations, are you mainly meeting with clients? Are you handling the campaigns themselves, or does your team typically do that? Like,
my team is really in the day-to-day. So my role at the agency is, I'm working on a lot of client relationships, new business development. So any proposals that are going out the door, those initial meetings and scopes of work all runs through me. So I'm putting that together.
Okay.
And then I am overseeing clients at a pretty high level, like checking in regularly to make sure that we're hitting benchmarks, campaigns are running.
Yeah.
There's a few key clients that I, will meet with, in terms of status meetings and things like that. But it's really the team who's running the work.
Yeah.
And then I get to make sure I'm just overseeing it and all of it is up to par.
And you mentioned you guys spend a lot of time like we do on your process. Cause like I was telling you earlier, like I've hired contractors and stuff and you're like, what's next? And it's kind of frustrating. And is that something you guys have a big emphasis on is the way when a client onboards, they know exactly what they're getting. Tell me a little bit about what your process is like if someone hired you guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, initially like that first scope of work has to be very detailed to the point where expectations are clear between us as the agency and them as the client. What are they paying for? What are they going to get? And what does that timeline look like? So once we've agreed upon that and they sign on, we'll do an initial discovery meeting, gather all of the inputs that we need, and then immediately back to results and reporting. We put together what is that report going to look like and what are our goals? And we get alignment on that. So it's like if we don't know what we're trying to achieve, even with public relations, which is more branding and high level, we need to level set with the client. What are we trying to get here?
Exactly.
Are there specific publications you want to be placed in? Are there specific channels you want to be placed in? Like, what does that look like so that we know and we're not wasting time and spinning our wheels. So absolutely have that kickoff meeting, get all of those inputs, making sure that the communication is tight back and forth, on different milestones, checking in. During COVID, it's tough not meeting with clients. I miss
right?
I miss the face-to-face. There's, I think just a level of communication that you can't get on Zoom.
Yeah, and I think even more than communication, it's like you form a bond with the customer more. Like it's more personal. I
agree.
And I've noticed like like we've had clients come in here and they're like, oh, you guys look exactly the way I saw on your website. Like you guys look like a fun people to go have a beer with. We've had people say that.
That's cool.
And you don't get that over Zoom, and it's kind of odd.
And I miss too, like the collaboration with my team. So, if we're in a meeting with the client, we feed off of each other. Yeah. And there's a dynamic there that you can't get through.
Are you guys at the office now? Or?
So we are on a rotation now.
Okay, cool.
We started that after the first of the year, and that's been like transformative. Like I was just getting so pent up in my house. I'm like, I got to get back to the office. Like
I was the same way. I was coming down here when it was like dark. It was just me. Like at the beginning when COVID first hit, I was like, what's this coronavirus thing? Like every morning you wake up, I'm like, am I sick? Is my
I know.
And then once I got over that, I was like, I got to get out of here. So every day I would come down here alone. And then my team started saying, hey, we kind of miss each other. Like, let's start. So before coronavirus, we actually did like a work from home Wednesdays, we called it.
That's what you were saying. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so it kind of helped us transition easier into the shutdown. But then we ended up instituting work from home Monday, Tuesday. So now we're here Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays.
Okay.
Which kind of works out well because, like we're a small team like you guys, and culture is huge, right?
Yeah.
And everybody just missed each other. You know, I'm sure it's like that for you guys as well, where the team kind of needs to gel a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, some people thrive more in that kind of isolated environment and some people don't.
Yeah.
And I think there is a balance, and we learn that from having to go work from home. There are times when it's more productive to be at home and quiet, working on your screens and not having that interruption and distraction. And then there's other times when you got to be in person and you need to collaborate, especially in the business that we're in. We have to collaborate.
100%.
We sell ideas, and that's
exactly.
what we do.
And I noticed that for us, like the designers, developers, they were fine staying home. They liked it. But the people on the communication side, account executives, things like that, it was a big struggle. And I noticed it was like, with a simple, like the first day we were back, we would have done a Slack message or an email, and it was like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, it's done versus this waiting game. And maybe they're not at their computer. And so the whole dynamic is different when you're around each other, which is unique.
Yeah. So. Are you going to keep the remote Monday, Tuesdays?
I think we are.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have a little bit of a hybrid, you know? So you kind of work from home a little bit, but I come in every day. You do. I've got 2 small kids. So I'm out of here. You got to get out of the house. Yeah. And you have children as well, right?
Yeah. Luckily they were in school. So they went back in August when the school year started.
Okay.
They're in private school. So they were back full time. Thank God. Because I couldn't have.
How old are your kids?
So my 2 girls are 5. One's turning 6 actually next month. 5 and 7.
Okay.
So kinder and first.
So as the owner of a business, right, and being a mom, what are some of the challenges there? Because I know it's like, dads have the same issues. I want to make it like a male-female thing here. Don't kill me, anyone. Yeah. But were there specific challenges you had as a mom, that and running a business that are unique?
I mean, so when I had my first 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, she's going to be 8 in September. So she's 7.5. That was challenging being a first time mom. Cause at that point in my career, I was running some pretty significant accounts for the agency. I was at a VP level. So part of the leadership team. I wasn't yet running the entire company, which would have been really hard as a first time mom, but it was tough. I was traveling. I had to come back. I remember I came back on a Monday after 8 weeks of maternity leave, and I had to pitch McDonald's public relations on a Friday.
Oh, wow.
So it was nuts. And just dealing with being away from the baby and all that mom guilt, you know, like it's a whole new world and it just like, I don't know. It just, nothing can prepare you for what that is. Yeah. And I always knew I wanted to work. Yeah. And I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. And my husband supported me in that, but it was still really tough. Yeah. My wife does the same thing. She actually works for a software company. Yeah. And she always used the word mom guilt. Oh. She's like, but I'm like, honey, everybody works, 9 to 5 or whatever. Totally. Like, it's normal. Yeah. But she's career driven like you are. Yeah. And so there's a struggle, I think, for moms, especially with their first kid. And I think it took me a good 8 months to kind of hit my stride. Yeah. That first 8 months was tough. Yeah. But you power through it. Yep. And then you kind of hit your stride as a mom and you see, okay, I can balance this, and actually working is good for my kids. Now I know I'm setting a good example for my kids, and they see me and they respect it. And they also, I think, cherish the time they have with me versus some kids. I think they might take their mom for granted a little bit when their mom's home every day. Sure. Like my kids can't wait to see me, and we're like this on the weekends, so it's great. Like, I really like it. And having the second one was a lot easier. It was like, I've done this before. Yeah. And I had a full-time nanny at the time. So I was like, I can do this versus the first one was just tough. It is. I think mentally it's harder too, the first one. And plus it's your first time mom general. Forget work. That's hard enough, right? Totally. And I had my first one, Harper, didn't sleep. I mean, it was just. Oh God. Yeah. That's like my second one. Nightmare. Our first one was pretty easy. So and the little guy's tough. And he grew up during coronavirus. So we were running around the house and it was like nonstop. He barely sleeps at night now. Because he's still really little, right? 1.5. Oh my gosh. You're in the thick of it. I know. I'm like on autopilot. I know. I mean, 5 and 7 is like, it's amazing.
Easy, right? They're at school and you're kind of in the clear.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Go brush your teeth. Go get ready for bed. Go to bed.
That's how we are with my oldest now. He like can do things, and not fully yet, but enough where he's potty trained. And you know, it's being a parent is tough, and having a career at the same time is so you're working all day and you're stressed out at work, and you come home and you're cleaning dishes, making food, wiping butts, you know, doing all that fun stuff.
It's a second shift.
Yeah, it is. It is for sure. So going back to MassMedia, so like, what are some of your goals for the future with the company in the next, let's say, 5 years? Like, where do you see MassMedia going?
Yeah, I mean, I think MassMedia, I would like to see us, you know, we're continuing to shift our clients into the digital space. Like, you know, that's no surprise. And so continuing to enhance our digital capabilities and tracking is going to be a huge goal for us.
Yep.
You know, with the cookieless future coming in 2022, making sure we're ahead of the curve, you know, and just continuing to, I mean, that space is constantly evolving.
It's always changing.
You have to keep up on it, and you have to lead your clients. The minute you're stagnant in digital, you know,
it's tough to keep up with it though.
Absolutely.
There's always new things to learn. There's new social media channels or something pops up.
But there's also so much information at our fingertips, you know, and so many resources now for marketers that, you know, you can tap into a lot of the same tools and expertise that these big agencies are. So it's nice as a mid-sized agency to be able to compete at that level. But I'd love to continue to expand our presence, you know, throughout the Southwest. I think we're on a good trajectory. So I want to keep it going.
Are you guys looking to expand in other areas, or? You
know, it's we will stay in Vegas. I don't see us opening up offices in other cities, especially now, because we've realized
you don't need to.
You can work.
Why spend the money on rent?
And clients are realizing that too. You don't have to be in their market, you know, as long as you have the right expertise and it's the right fit. You know, you can do anything from anywhere. So I think in the past, clients may have wanted to get that local agency where they could meet face to face. And now it's like, we'll hop on a plane and we'll be there. And we can still deliver the work from Las Vegas.
I do notice, though, a lot of people love the fact that they can meet with someone local, right? That's a pretty big advantage. And clients tend to, but you are correct. I mean, people will travel. We're getting more out-of-state customers than ever before as well, which is interesting, you know? So.
And I think just continuing to build on some of the niches that we've carved out, you know, independent casinos are a focus for us. I love working with Circus Circus. They're able to push things through so quickly because they're independently owned. You know, healthcare has always been a big focus for us. And we're in the Medicare Advantage space working for provider groups. So that's another area of focus. I think that, you know, as people age into Medicare, that's not going away. It's going to continue to grow. So making sure that we're bringing those cutting edge, you know, digital capabilities to those specific client sectors. You know, and like I said, PR will always be a part of MassMedia. So digital PR, media buying is really kind of our focus.
Awesome. So let's talk a little about like the unfortunate pandemic we faced. So how did you guys handle that? I mean, how did it affect your business? And what kind of pivots or adjustments did you make at the very beginning with the business? So
luckily, as you guys were, we were able to just move into working from home really easily. So, you know, we shut down our office. We made sure everybody had their work from home equipment. And it's like we didn't skip a beat because we're on chat all day. We're on email. We're on text. We're on phone. So it was like everybody was just not next to each other, but we didn't skip a beat. You know, me leading the company, I immediately wanted to look at projections and assess where all of my clients were, you know, who are high risk, who are no risk, and who are medium risk, and kind of categorize them and go, what's the worst case scenario and how are we going to get through this? But again, I think being really financially stable, we don't have debt. You know, we're very lean in terms of expenses. We don't have some crazy overhead that we have to maintain. And then having a nice diversified client roster, some of which are, you know, essential businesses that actually picked up steam.
There's a lot of businesses that did better. A lot. I mean, it's crazy.
We grew one of our accounts over the pandemic. So while we did see some kind of stop and fall off, I think those were some of the smaller ones. Our core client base stayed with us. And we were lucky that we could just, you know, hunker down and get through it. And now we're seeing it come out on the other end.
Stronger.
It's amazing to see, like, we're seeing new business come in. We're seeing clients opening up their marketing budgets. You know, the travel to Vegas has been amazing.
Yeah.
And
it makes you stronger as a company too, as a group, just battling through that. I know our team made some sacrifices and it was a challenging time. It was scary. Because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, for us, we do a lot of project work. So we were lucky that we had existing projects that were halfway through in the queue, but the well ran dry when it came to new business for us. And it was kind of like, we don't know what's going to happen, you know? So it was scary, but same thing as you. I mean, I kind of keep things lean and smart with the money that we have. And I think those are the people that survived it. And I think anytime you survive that kind of struggle, anything in life, you always end up better afterwards, which is huge. So it's good to hear.
Yeah. And I think transparency with the team was huge too, because they're scared. They're scared for their jobs, what's happening. So we did like weekly Zoom. Like I would do state of the agency and give them the full information. Like, here's what's happening. Here are the clients. Here's where they're at. Here are the clients that are pausing. Here are the clients that have asked for, a 3-month pause or whatever it is. And so they knew. And then I was just giving them reassurance with the information that I had, and I can't promise it won't change tomorrow, but that was the message throughout the whole pandemic was, whatever happens, we will be okay. And MassMedia will survive. I guarantee that. I know that will happen.
Which is awesome. Because you build confidence in the team and they feel okay. Because, I love my employees and I know you do too. It's like a family, right? So it's like my biggest fear was having to let people go. And I always tell people what I'm most proud of is I didn't have to let anyone go. That's
amazing.
And so it's, it was scary though, no doubt about it. And there was just so many unknowns. So were there any, on a positive note, were there any like new businesses that have popped up or anything unique or anything that you've seen in the market that's a result of COVID or the type of business you're seeing grow?
Let me think. I mean, in terms of new business that we're doing, I wouldn't say that we have like new industries that are emerging or anything that we're doing. I mean, we're pretty focused on our areas, of in the industries that we serve. So I wouldn't say we saw new in terms of our client base. Was there growth in certain industries you mentioned? Well, actually, So we have a client who's an HVAC. They were essential and they grew. I mean, they were like plumbing and HVAC. Oh, because the housing market's going nuts right now. I mean, people were at home, and so they needed these repairs, and they were there using their, using all of those things. So that grew. But I mean, we have, like I said, clients that are essential. Like Southwest Gas is another big client. Oh, wow. Nobody's they're using gas, probably more, right? So I felt like we had a nice stable kind of mix of clients. And while some of them might have pared back their advertising, that was short term, you know, and easy to overcome. Yeah. And the city as a whole has kind of changed a lot recently because of COVID, right? And like there's a mass exodus of people coming from California, other cities moving here. And I'm noticing like, we have real infrastructure now, right? We've got, sports franchises and minor league teams and, Mass Square Gardens building here and new casinos popping up, which is crazy. Where do you see Vegas in the next, few years? Like, what do you think the future holds for us here in town? I think already early indications from everything I've read and everything I've seen is that travel to Vegas is going to explode. I mean, it's going to go nuts. Like we're a top destination right now. It's already big. I was on a Friday night on the Strip. I never go, but it was packed. Yes. It was packed. It's nuts. I mean, in the past, we've been obviously meeting with Circus throughout the whole pandemic, but within the last month, I would say, like pulling up on a Friday for my meeting at 9:00 in the morning, all of a sudden I can't find parking in the parking garage. I know. It's bananas. Yeah. And everybody that I talk to out of market can't wait to get to Vegas. So I think we're going to be a real destination. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, what LVCVA does in terms of the positioning of our market. Like what are they going to come out with that is fresh and different and new for our city that's going to entice people to come here. But I mean, I think like you said, there's sports here now. Yeah. And we're just continue to be this entertainment destination that sometimes living in it, you don't realize how desirable we are as a town, Yeah. And we're a resilient group of people too here, like I think people that move here and live here and that survive Vegas is like a certain type of person, almost like the agency person. Right. And we just battle through stuff. I mean, we got crushed. I mean, was it 08 or whatever? Which was actually worse, I think. I think definitely. In some respects, I mean, the housing crisis and everything, but people just battled through it and it was business as usual and the city was doing really well. And then
COVID happened. So I know we'll be fine, you know, and there's so much new stuff coming on and new industries coming into the city, technology, stuff like that. So
technology is a big one that you hear about. Yeah. Coming into Vegas, and it's a more attractive place for people to do business here, you know, than it is in California.
Yeah.
And you saw they just lost a seat, you know, they're down in the census, and it's like everybody's migrating to other parts of the country. And I think obviously our real estate market is reflective of that.
Oh my God. I'm trying to buy a house right now.
All the California buyers.
My wife and I thought we were really smart. Well, it was mostly my fault. I'll take the blame. I came home one day. I was like, we got to sell our house. I was like, yeah. Cause
Why did you do that?
I was getting like flashback, like PTSD? Yeah, not PC. Yeah, PTSD from 08 or whatever it was.
Oh my God.
So I was like, we got to sell our home. And I talked to friends that are in the mortgage business. I have, friends that are in finance. And they're like, it's really smart of you. I think that's a great idea. And we did well in our house. Sold it.
When did you sell it?
August.
Oh my gosh.
And what's odd about it is we sold it. And then like, there was a little bit of a lull in the market where 2 homes with the same model sold for less. And I was like, oh man, I'm smart. I'm so smart. And then all of a sudden it just went, whoo. So not so smart. So now we're in a rental.
I was going to say, where are you living?
We're renting. So now we try to find another place, and we're looking in the Summerlin area, and we put an offer on a house for, thousands more, didn't get it. So like you can't even find a house. I mean, the supply is low, lumber costs are high, and but those damn Californians, man, just
coming in with
stop
their
moving
cash.
here.
Coming in with their cash.
Yeah,
sight unseen, making the offer.
But because I mean, it's California's getting beat up out there right now. Yeah, so people are coming.
I've noticed just the roads are busier. Like from pre-COVID. Like where are all these people coming from? Yeah, from California.
It's going to be a problem here, I think, though. The infrastructure, the roads and everything. They got to do something about that, because people are coming here crazy. I mean, I don't think that's going to stop either.
It is an interesting conundrum. Like, I'm lucky that I don't have to get on the freeway to go to work.
Yeah, exactly.
But St. Rose Parkway over by me, man, that has exploded.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I mean, I used to just shoot down there. There was nothing there.
But they can't even build houses fast enough now. Yeah, which is crazy.
No, and I think that a lot of them are on lottery right now. Like, I don't know if you've looked at new builds.
Oh, we've looked. There's nothing.
You can't get it.
No. I mean, we went to one community we liked, and they were like, oh, there's one home left that's the model, and it's like $200,000 more than what it should be, probably. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. I mean,
what are you going to do? Keep looking?
Keep looking. Yeah. Keep looking. Yeah. It's kind of a waste of money to rent, but we don't have a choice. So luckily we did well in our house, but we're probably going to spend it all on a rental. Whatever I recommend on real estate, just do the opposite.
Oh
so whenever we buy is going to be the worst time to buy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out, I think.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's not talk about that anymore.
No more of that.
So Vegas. So you came here with your husband. Like what brought you here officially, and like what are some things you love about the city itself? I
don't love the heat.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No.
And a lot of people move here because they love the heat.
Yeah.
I'm not into
It's a dry heat though.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Like when you go to a humid place, you have newfound, I think, love for
the dry.
Yeah. But I love the proximity to a lot of places. Like I feel like we can hop in the car and go to California. We can go to Utah. We can go to Arizona. So I feel like it's a good location.
It's a nice hub.
Yeah. Right? It's a good cost of living and life that you can give your kids here.
Yeah.
Like that's why everybody from California wants to come here, right? Yeah. Because you can get a nice house and live in a nice community for an affordable price. Yeah. I think there's so much more to it than gaming. All of the clients that we represent here that do business here. Sure. I don't know.
It used to be such a gaming centric town. Mm-hmm. And it was even when I moved here in 2002, I don't know, when did you move?
So I was 06.
Okay. Uh-huh. So in 02, I remember that was before like Mandalay Bay had the second tower and everything. And it was all gaming. Yeah. I mean, there's very little industry out here and it's changed so much, and I think specifically, I know I keep bringing up the sports teams, but that really changed stuff because the Knights brought this feeling of community 100%. With everybody. And it became like, I feel like once you get a sports team, you're like a real city. Yeah. And, now I think we're getting some real
exciting
positive changes that are different than just a new casino, right? Which is always what everyone look forward to. Mm-hmm. So which is cool, but I'm with you. Like we have a great airport. Yeah. It's easy to go different places. We're going to Scottsdale next month. It's a drive 45-minute flight, so it's just nice living out here.
It is. Yeah. I think you have access to a lot here. Yeah. And it's not, even though the roads are crowded, like we're spoiled, right? You tell people it takes you 35 minutes to get somewhere, and they're like, really? And you're complaining about that?
I know.
You can get around town easily, and it's small enough that I think you can cultivate real relationships here and know a lot of people and have a network. You know, you don't feel lost in this giant city.
Exactly. It's kind of like it's a bigger city, but not really. It's people know each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the nice things about it. It's not overwhelming. You know.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed that. But I've been here a while now. It's crazy how the years roll by.
I know. You know? Right? I actually remember you and I played on our softball team.
Yeah.
I hit a home run, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you remember that home run?
No.
I did. And I actually pulled both my hamstrings on that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My husband pulled his hamstring playing softball with us too.
That field was like cement. I don't know if you remember it, but the dirt was not dirt. It was like literally like running on red rock.
I was just like an honorary member of that team. I think I only got up there like when you guys made me.
But that was like back when you started, because I think it was like 2009, 2010.
Yeah, I was super new at the time to the company.
Yeah,
isn't that funny?
I know. Yeah. We're so old now.
I know. That's why I don't know where I'm from. I'm like, I was like 15 years here, and then I was 10 years here. And 15,
where exactly. And the time flies,
equal parts everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like a different life.
Maybe I'm from Vegas now.
Yeah. So what are some of your personal or professional goals you have for yourself? Is there anything that you're looking to do personally or professionally?
I mean, I'm just professionally, I want to grow. I want to continue to grow our company. Like I'm always looking at what's next, and I don't want to get massively huge, but I do want to continue to grow.
Sure.
Always.
Yeah.
So I'm really focused on MassMedia and driving that forward, and cultivating the team and running a great company. I love running the company. So I feel like I've found what I'm good at and where I want to be. So I'm not looking at anything else at this point. Personally, just continuing to find that balance, like I've turned 40 this year or late last year. So now, I got to work harder in the gym,
Yep. I'm in the 40 club too last year.
I got to eat healthy and, I got to continue to learn and grow. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. I want to go on nice vacations where I can take time off and decompress.
Any vacations planned or?
So my brother during the pandemic picked up and moved to Montana.
Oh, cool.
So he's up in Whitefish, Montana now.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to go up and hang out on the lake for a week in July, and I cannot wait. I've never been there.
Yeah, me neither. Dusty from .Vegas we interviewed.
Oh, cool.
His father lives up there, and he goes every. Yeah, he says it's amazing.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
it looks absolutely beautiful from the pictures that he sends. So
well, it's nice to, especially how hectic our lives are, is like getting that reset, that to kind of come back fresh, and back at it. It's
so important. I found that making sure I have trips on the books and time to get away with my family for a week
makes a huge difference.
It's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would be able to
survive,
to keep grinding without that, time.
Break.
So we've got that on the books, and then I'll start planning my next trips.
Nice. There you go.
I always have like at least
something to look forward to, right?
Queue.
Yeah, exactly.
2 or 3 in the queue.
So what are some people that younger, people maybe in college that are looking to get into PR and marketing? What are some things you'd recommend to them based on things you've learned, mistakes you've made, things like that?
Like in how to break into the industry?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I mean, I would say staying really humble and hustling is like number one.
Yeah.
So whatever opportunity you can get, take it and kick ass at it.
Yeah.
And start to build your resume up from there.
Yeah.
Just get in and listen and learn and be open and, take learnings from everybody that you come across in the industry. Because obviously that experience that, people who are veterans have had is really important. So gleaning whatever you can from them and just...
Yeah, and I think you're an inspiration to younger people too, because if you look at your career in your past, you met someone in Reno, you came here, you connected with them, that led you to the next thing, and then you just busted your ass when you were at MassMedia and now you're running the show, right? So it's pretty cool.
I wasn't afraid to pick up the phone, and I think working with a bigwig early on in my career kind of taught me not to be afraid of those things. So I'm always the one to like raise my hand or ask.
That's good.
If you don't ask, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
All they can say is no.
Exactly.
So why don't you ask?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Simple. I mean, I always tell, like, with my kids, I always want them to just learn to work hard.
Yes.
You know, when you don't know the answer to something, ask questions, you know, and just kind of be a sponge, you know? And I think that, like you said earlier with college, it's great to set the tone, but you really learn when you're on the job at the end of the day.
And take the opportunity. You know, I would have worked for free,
Oh,
honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, just give me experience.
I wish I did more internships. I'm with you on that.
I never
you know?
did that. And I wish, and I think after I graduated, they started to mandate it. And they should, really, because that's what exposes you to the business and probably gives you a sense of, is this what I even want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I didn't know. I went in blind and it was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But not everybody's a fit for agency.
Sure.
And so I think that early on exposure, you know, in agency or in-house, you need to get that and make sure that's what you want to do. And this is where you want to be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we got our last question. It's called the hot seat question.
Okay.
I didn't make yours that bad. Some of them are really quirky, but so tell us, don't name the client. Tell us a story of your most nightmarish client experience.
Gosh. I'm going to have to like dig deep.
Really? Because I could rattle off at least 10 probably.
I have
or something funny.
I have the gift of pushing bad memories out of my mind.
Oh, okay.
Like I literally don't remember them.
Yeah.
Like my husband will say, "Remember when this happened?" And I'm like, "No, I don't remember that."
Yeah.
No, I literally block them out. Maybe that's why I can do well in this business.
Yeah, right.
So like a bad client experience
or something funny or man, I thought this would be easy. I'm about to answer for you. I can give you a few.
God. I mean,
do you want to just say I love all my clients?
I mean, I do love all my clients.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the cliche, you know, client challenges, but nothing comes to mind in terms of, well, no, okay. So I'm gonna have to like really think about how to tell this without giving away who the client is. But we ran this campaign for a client. It was during their peak season where they really look to acquire new customers. And we'd been doing it for a number of years and really successful with it. And we hit our goal for that year and we had this like big celebration with the client.
Yeah.
And so we all felt really good about what we did. And then they turned over their marketing, their head of marketing.
Yeah.
And so we got called in like a month later and just got, I mean, a lashing. And I think for me, it's like I will own any kind of mistakes.
Beat down. If we didn't
hit the goal, like I'll own that.
Yeah.
But to go in there and have to sit there with my team and just get an ear bashing.
Yeah.
I literally said to the client, I'm so confused. We were cheersing with champagne 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What happened?
So you were cheersing with the group before they got replaced? Is that what happened?
So there was a contact that stayed throughout this entire process.
Got it. Okay.
There were some new people that came in. So we were like in the hot seat with these new people. And I'm looking at my client contact going, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like we just went to dinner and cheers like less than 3 weeks ago. Like, can you remind me, like, didn't you hit your goal?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are we, but I think that's what you deal with as an agency is new people coming in, poking holes.
Yep.
They didn't give the original direction. They have their own vision and they're just not going to be happy no matter what.
And I think a lot of times people that come, we've had that happen a lot where a new guy comes in or female and they're like, they want to set their, flex their muscles a little bit saying, hey, this is, you know, I can do a better job, you know, expect more or whatever. So that's a big challenge.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah.
Because again, like if we don't hit a goal and, you know, or something like that, not only are we trying to fix it and go, okay, how are we going to make this work and how are we going to get there for the client? But when you do everything right and
it's
what are you
frustrating.
going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Just like throw my hands up in the air. But yeah, that was a awkward meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
That's pretty recent, but yeah, I do have a gift of blocking that stuff.
That's
out.
good. That's good. Yeah. I retain those things.
Good and bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes, again, like we'll be like talking about things and I'm like, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And he's like, you literally don't remember that? I'm like, I have no recollection.
I'll add to your story. We had a funny client. We still talk about it today where we were launching their website and we were like, hey, we're going to do the launch on Wednesday. They showed up and almost misconstrued it as a launch party.
Oh, no.
So they showed up to our office with champagne and we're like, we're just like, So it was hilarious. It was like Cook's champagne or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a champagne launch party once, which happened.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
One thing I did over COVID that was kind of embarrassing, this was like a misstep, was since we're all on Zoom.
Yeah.
And somebody's like sharing their screen, we're communicating on chat.
Yeah.
And she didn't turn her chat off. And I sent like this message to her, kind of coming down on her for what she had just said to the client.
Oh.
Client saw it.
Oh no.
Popped right up. So what was the learning there? It's like, can you please make sure you shut down your chat before you. And then for me, I'm like, don't chat people when you're on Zoom and they're screen sharing, like shoot them a text or something. That was super
We had that happen. I wrote an email calling someone something. And one of the guys, Justin, actually replied all on the email. So I was like, oh my God, but they actually didn't see it. So it ended up
we've all had those, right? Yeah. Emailing the wrong, the wrong person. The wrong person.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't have one of those Zoom instances that you saw that went viral. Guy walking around naked in the background.
Oh my gosh, right?
That's always my worst nightmare with Zoom. I'm
know.
Is because sometimes I have calls that are early in the morning.
Right.
And you're still like, in your boxers and hanging out having coffee. And then all of a sudden you're like, is the video on?
Right.
Yeah. So
I know,
Zoom can be dangerous.
In their sweatpants, like you have to be careful not to like stand up and embarrass yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, awesome speaking to you today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming down.
Absolutely.
So where can people find you? Like, your website or social media?
So MassMediaCC.com is our website. And you can find us on social too. We're on all of the social channels.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Georgeann. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
I appreciate it.